Hey everyone, it's Kevin Jones with Life, Mind, and Money. Today we're going to be discussing retirement accounts. We all know that we need to work towards retirement, but do we know that all the different products and services that are out there where we can put our money that might create a tax advantage or some other benefit along the way? So we're going to give you an overview of the main accounts out there that you can take advantage of today so it'll help you in 2020 get yourself set up for a great retirement. So let's get going. If you haven't done so, please, we always talk about smashing, but I'm quite a golfer. So let's say a little tap on that like button for today against that YouTube algorithm. Let's get started. The topic of retirement has become a bigger and bigger subject each day, primarily because pensions don't exist anymore, which were the primary driver of people retiring with Social Security. But as we know, Social Security is becoming less and less of a place to actually go for when we have money in retirement. So we've got to start developing plans of putting our money in various accounts to build up our own nest egg so that we can retire when we're ready. So as you consider starting your own retirement accounts, or somebody's been doing it for many years, I want to make sure that you actually know the different options out there of putting your money and what advantages come with each of them, and maybe disadvantages as well. I view these as the top 4 options for retirement accounts out there. The first option of retirement accounts are really employer-based plans, and that might be about like a 401k or a 403b or a 457b. Depending on where you're working, whether in the private sector or the public sector. These are the variety of plans that are out there that you can take advantage of because you have a job with them. The second option out there is what's called a Roth IRA. And what's great about a Roth IRA, as we'll discuss more, is that you put your money in, but when you pull it out at retirement, it goes out completely tax-free, so Uncle Sam can't get his fingers on it. That's why this might be a great option for you as well. The third option is actually a traditional IRA. And there's many different IRAs out there under the traditional name, but this is another great place to put your money. It's treated a little bit differently than the Roth IRA, which we'll discuss, but this is also a great avenue that you may want to take advantage of. And the fourth option, I believe, out there for anybody is a brokerage account. Now, while this is not traditionally a retirement account, this might be an option for you to put money in there where you can invest in the market so you have available funds for you. Now keep in mind, I said this is not a retirement account, but it's another great option, especially as your income goes up. You may lose access to other different accounts, so that's why I put this on the list. While I recognize that there are many other different retirement accounts out there, I believe these 4 really covers the basis of most people out there. So I want to dive into each of these and how they work so that you have a greater understanding about what to do with them and see if it's great for your retirement plans. So let's talk about the first item I talked about retirement accounts, and that is employer-based plans. So we're talking about the 401k, the 403b, and the 457b. Now a 401k will most likely come from the private sector, where a 403b will come from a school or a church, and a 457b will come from somebody who maybe works in the local or state government. What's great about these plans is that you're allowed to put money into them before tax. So before Uncle Sam even touches it. So it grows, and there's been no taxes taken out of it. Now naturally, because taxes have to come out at some point, they only do when you actually reach the age of retirement and you're ready to pull those out. And at that point, your income is taxed at the normal tax bracket of wherever you may sit at retirement. So there can be some great advantages of here that maybe you sit at a high tax bracket and you start putting that money in, and when you retire, the money that you're actually pulling out, your own income, is at a lower tax bracket. So you could see there's some great advantages of putting in an employer-based plan. But I believe the number one advantage of putting into an employer-based plan is most will do some kind of matching. Now, I know this doesn't extend to everybody, but if your employer says that if you put 3% in and we're going to match it dollar for dollar, and give you 3% as well, that's what's called free money. And we all love free money when we can get it. Think about it. If I put $1 in and I get $1 return, that's instantly 100% return on my money. Absolutely, you need to be taking advantage of this. And that's why employer plans can be so advantageous for any of us to do. So we talked about this money comes in before taxes. And each year, we're allowed to put up to $19,500 in each of these accounts. Now, this is adjusted year after year. So these are 2020 numbers I'm giving you. For those who are 50 and older, you actually have the ability to do some catch up. And that allows you to put an additional $6,500 into that account at a total of $26,000 for the year. Now, in some employer plans, the disadvantages might come is that you don't have the ability of the entire market to invest these in most cases. The employer will choose a partner for that money to be invested. So the funds or accounts that you can take advantage of putting your money in may be very limited. So you'll have to do your best in researching these funds of what you can put it in so that you're maximizing your growth as much as possible. As what comes with age, and because these are tax advantage accounts in our government's mind, the retirement age is deemed as 59 and a half. So with a 401k or 403b, if you're below 59 and a half and you start taking money out of there, you will incur a 10% penalty. So you've got to be really careful about when you select your retirement date. And that's why when we get further along in this list of retirement accounts we talk about, I believe there's some better options for you if you're looking to retire earlier. Now the 457B actually is exempt from that 59 and a half number. So just keep in mind there is some variation out there in the tax code. So once again, take advantage of an employer plan, especially when there is a match. Never turn down free money. So let's talk about Roth IRAs and why I believe this is the greatest financial retirement account out there. What's great about a Roth IRA is it is completely tax-free. So what happens here is that money goes in, and that is after-tax money. So what are we talking about after tax? After tax means that you get a paycheck, taxes come out, so whatever that net amount is that you receive on a weekly basis, a daily basis, or a monthly basis, then that money can be directly put into a Roth IRA. So as it grows, that money is growing tax-free because the government already took their money beforehand. So when you reach retirement, you can take anything out of that account and it will come out where the government can't touch any of it. That's why it's such a great option. A Roth IRA is open to anybody who is employed, working, or a spouse is working. Then you have immediately access to it. And you can get a Roth IRA at a variety of financial institutions. Another great thing about a Roth IRA is that because you're putting your money in after tax, so that a net amount when you receive in your checking account once you've worked, is that as it's growing, your money is growing tax-free. But that money, initial money you put in, let's say you put in $10,000 into the account to invest. Because the government has already taken its taxes from it, you can actually withdraw that money from that account without any penalty because you've already paid taxes on it. So it leaves a great option if that you needed to take money out of that retirement, you could without really damaging your retirement account, but it would also take advantage of ways to grow your money over time. Now with the Roth IRA, the government defines retirement as the age of 59 and a half. So if you were to start distributing money from that Roth IRA, especially on the gross side, and you did it before that age range, then you would actually be subject to penalty of 10%. So as we talked about, any money that goes in can be pulled out without any penalty, but anything that you have gained over time from that account, if you do it before the age of 59 and a half, there will be subject to a penalty. As long as you are working or you have a spouse that is working, you can always make a contribution to a Roth IRA. Now, contribution limits in 2020 are as follows. You can put up to $6,000 after-tax money in each account. So you have the only ability to put in $6,000. So if you are married, you have the ability to put myself $6,000 and my wife can put $6,000 in. Now, for those who are 50 and older, there's what's called a catch-up, and that allows you to put an additional $1,000 into that account each year. So if I'm 55, I can put a total of $7,000 into that account each year until I reach my retirement. The last thing I want to point out is that a Roth IRA is a fantastic vehicle that all of us should take advantage of. But if we are so lucky in our careers to make a certain amount of money, a Roth IRA actually at some point will no longer be available to us. This rate actually varies from year to year, and the government will set it. Today, if you're married jointly, if you make over $193,000 a year, then you'll have no longer access to this account. If your income is starting to get near that level, please seek a consultant or a tax advisor on exactly where you stand, especially as your income may be going up year after year as you're getting closer to that target. So you know how to take advantage of a Roth IRA and maximize it, but knowing there may be a day where you can't take advantage of it all anymore. I hope you can see why this is such a great account that you need to take advantage of in your retirement. I mean, think about it. Not a lot of things in our life is tax-free. So we need to take advantage of those things as much as possible. So while you have an income and you're under that threshold, make sure that you're putting money in a Roth IRA because, as you can imagine, we don't want Uncle Sam touching our money. We never like our taxes. So if you have the ability to retire and make sure that nobody can touch it at all, the Roth IRA, I believe, is the best option for you. Another great option for you, and I put third on my list, is a traditional IRA. Why I like this is maybe you don't have an employer-based plan available to you, or you've maxed out your Roth IRA, or that's not available to you. So we kind of sequentially go down the list. And a traditional IRA is also another great retirement account out there. A traditional IRA, once again, can be set up at a variety of financial institutions. Just like the Roth IRA, you can contribute up to $6,000 a year into those accounts. And if you're 50 or older, you have that additional $1,000 at a maximum of $7,000 a year. Now, with a traditional IRA, just similar to a Roth IRA, your money is put in after tax. Now, with a Roth IRA, you know it grows tax-free, as we just discussed. But that's not the same advantage you have with a traditional IRA. Now, one advantage you may get is that as the money goes in year after year, you may be able to actually deduct that from your taxes for whatever contributions you made that year. But any money that is deductible on your tax return may be subject to taxes when you withdraw it at retirement. So just keep that in mind. Also, with a traditional IRA, you're allowed to make contributions only up to age 72. And at that point, mandatory distributions are required. I would seek out consultation with your tax advisor as you're reaching that age so that you understand exactly what money needs to be pulled out so that you're not in any issue with the government. Now, as you can see, the traditional IRA can be a great option for you. But certainly, I would rather you max out any matching that an employer-based plan has and then maxing out a Roth IRA before you get to the traditional IRA stage. Take advantage of things that you may be able to get beforehand and then really look at a traditional IRA as your next option. So the last option I want to talk about is a brokerage account. I believe this could be a great option for you, especially if you don't have many retirement accounts available to you, like an employer-based plan or a Roth IRA. So a brokerage account can create a way for you to invest and have money available to you at retirement when you want it. As we spoke about before, a brokerage account is not a retirement account in the minds of the tax world. It's money that you just simply invest when you want to. And it's taxed very differently, what's called capital gains. And so when it comes to the tax world, capital gains is only 15% right now. Well, that's essentially the lowest tax bracket in the United States. So that could create all kinds of advantage for you while your money is growing in that type of account. What's also great about a brokerage account is that you can access that money anytime. There are no restrictions on when you can pull it out, like a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA where you need to be 59 and a half. If you're looking for a way to retire early and put your money somewhere, then a brokerage account will maybe create that accessibility to get you all the way to 59 and a half, so that you have money available if you're looking to retire in your 50s or your 40s or whatever your heart's content on achieving that goal. As you're thinking about retirement accounts that you want to put your money in, and certainly the other ones might be not available to you, another great reason for a brokerage account is, you have this cash being built up, and you might have that in a CD or a savings account. And while those are great place to put your money and you have quick accessibility to it, like you would do for an emergency fund, sometimes you don't want your cash sitting around, you want it to grow. And that's why a brokerage account can create so many more options for you, so that it's sitting there growing at a much faster rate than a traditional savings account or CD. So when you are ready for retirement, you can start pulling that money and knowing it's grown at a much faster rate than simply a savings account. That's why I put a brokerage account at such a top of my list on number 4, is that I think it's not an option that you want to go to immediately, but if you've worked through the other 3 that I've talked about today, you certainly want to look into this as another option for your retirement. Thanks for watching today. And in Life, Mind, and Money, we focus on life. To retirement today with pension plans and big Social Security checks are a thing of the past. And if we want to retire with dignity and lots of money in our accounts, we have to take charge of that. So utilize these accounts we spoke about and really get the ball rolling, whether you're younger or older, so that you have a healthy account, a nest egg that you can be proud of when you retire. Because honestly, it's all about you. If you haven't done so, as we spoke, just tap that like button, as I appreciate all your support against the YouTube algorithm. Also, I'd love to hear from you, so please leave your comments below. And lastly, if you like the content that you're receiving through this channel, certainly see below, and if you could please hit the subscribe button, I would certainly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.